Hello everyone, Pierce Nation here. Welcome to a little discussion about your dueling demeanor and how you should portray your dueling demeanor as you enter a tournament, whether it be locals, regionals, or YCS. You should know basically the main prowess of what that you need to do. The most important part of the whole process is, getting your deck, laying your deck out. Whether if you run a side deck or not, laying out your extra deck and laying out your deck, going through cards, seeing before tournament what needs to be put in and what you might want to take out. That's a big part of Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive play is knowing what goes in your deck and what doesn't belong in there. Another thing is know when you're at the tournament pre-prep to kind of take a moment and think about the decks that you're going to face also, because you will need to process that in order to side deck or pre-prep the deck before tournament. And if you're just in the complete unknown, I would just, side deck things that are very uncommon and very hard against your deck in general. To where mine, I know exactly what to side because I know exactly what I have to stop. And that's a big part of learning the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you have to find out what you're good against and what you're bad against. And when you get those two, that's a recipe for success. And you put yourself in the right direction going forward. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, besides, side decking, sizing up your opponents, preparing for the inevitable, is your dual demeanor. Your dual demeanor, you can sometimes give away plays. If someone is going too fast, you can slow them down. You can say, wait, I've got responses for everything you're doing. The cards you play are not God cards. They don't exist. I mean, they do in Cypher and Novelist, but still, they can be beaten. But the ways that it is, their responses to things that you do. Like me yesterday, the best thing I put in altergeist was Witch's Strike. I would like 2 of them, but I have to take out one of my traps because as of right now, I'm getting too many hand traps and everything like that all in one, to where I like Witch's Strike because it pays a hefty cost for negating, but also it deals a hefty blow. So like that was a last minute, a friend brought me a card and I was like, sweet, I actually like this. And I threw it in because as soon as you negate, you're getting hit with Witch's Strike. And in Altergeist, that is a pain because it'll keep coming. So I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I do rather enjoy it. Altergeist is pretty much done in my personal opinion. There's not really much more I can do to it. Now my Blue Eyes deck is being updated. As of right now, it will still not be complete. We are missing 4 or 5 cards. And then the deck profile will be up, and you will be able to see the new Blue Eyes deck. And I will show you the combos and how it pops off on both turns. Now this is going uninterrupted. Just depends on how really it works. Because with blue eyes, it's powerful. And I mean powerful. Blue eyes really doesn't give you a chance anymore to kind of get yourself back in the game, because now it's got a special summoning method used for those other dragons that you get in your hand. So running 2 or 3 visions is probably the best thing you can do, because now you can throw out a tuner, take the tuner off, get one of them on, which is one thing that we have not been able to do, and that speeds up the game for us, because we normal summon, throw down that continuous trap or continuous spell, and we can continue to play. Because I can throw Sage down, get the normal summon, pull my white stone to hand. As soon as I get my white stone, I could even special summon the white stone if I wanted to, but I don't see a point in doing that when you could just special summon a blue eyes monster from hand, and then second turn maybe normal summon the white stone, set up a synchro play or something like that. So again, with the decks and the support that they get, TCG is going to slow down for a bit, because this is going to be the last little bit for the meta, with Grand Creators and Battle Chaos coming out back to back. And they did. I think today is Thursday? Yeah. So Battle Chaos goes live, I think, tomorrow. Today, tomorrow, something like that. For everyone else that wasn't able to do the pre-release and everything like that, as you've seen my playmat, you know I've got a promotional item from Battle Chaos where I actually went and played. And I didn't pull any Blue Eyes cards, and I've had people giving me all the Blue Eyes support for them. And I think my buddy just texted me, he said, "I've got your 3rd Dictator D. Got it waiting on you." I'm like, that's great. I need it. I have to have it. Dictator D's effects are so great that it's going to be hard to keep up with Blue Eyes now. Because we don't have one card that can do that. We have like 6. And their abilities are so bizarre that it's crazy. But let me get back on topic of how you should go about your duels. Now, we're going to step out of the locals approach, and we're going to step out of the regionals approach, and we're going to go to a YCS approach. So, you play 9 games of YCS, potentially. You go into it, and they're going to register everything you do. And there'll be a judge at your table at all times. Your deck will be entered. Whole deal. It's not really that big a deal. It just makes sure that everything goes as predicted and as it's supposed to. And those judges are well known for what they do. And most of the time YCS, if you chain link to a response, more than likely the judge will be able to make the call like, hey, you cannot chain to that, or you can do this, blah blah blah. But nevertheless, I always went with the judge's call, because I felt like that they make some pretty good decisions on rulings, even though sometimes I might be a little wrong on my rulings. Like, that's fine. You're allowed to be wrong. You can be a very good competitive player and be wrong on rulings, because you have a judge at the table in regionals and YCS. There is no reason for you to actually have to have the correct ruling. You do not have to have it, because they will help you, and they will. They'll help you out in more ways than you know what to do with, because it's not easy. It is not easy. I've learned just about almost every ruling in the game now. Like I said, I still don't know them all. Like, I don't know if we're ever going to know them all. Because they keep coming out with new ways to special summon, new methods, new effects, blah, blah, blah. It's just crazy. But, you know, it's crazy. It's just crazy how it works because, it's, I don't really know how to explain it, but there's so many different effects that go off. There's ignition, there's trigger, and I don't remember them all. But what I want to know exactly is like the baseline from where an effect activates and when it resolves. Because, you know, negating an effect, I understand it, you know, meet the requirements, you negate the effect, blah blah blah, it's not that hard. Like I said, I got back in the game 2 years ago, so I have to learn all this stuff as I go along, and I gotta learn the rulings. You know, I play altergeist, I have to pay attention to these rulings now, because this is where it counts. Blue eyes don't really have that big of ruling problems because the cards are pretty much straightforward on those. Like Blue Eyes Ultimate Alternative, if alternative is part of the material, you can destroy up to 3 cards. Cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects or targeted by your opponent's card effects. Not that hard. You know, Neo, if he's the only one you control, ditch 2 to the graveyard, it gets 2 more attacks. Or 2 Blue Eyes Fusion monsters. It's not really that hard. Like I said, the rulings are pretty much very simple for Blue Eyes. Where Altergeist are a little bit different. Because of how I'm running it, with the effect failures, the infinite impermanence, the Witch's Strike, the Crackdown, just all those different things all at once. That's a lot to wrap your head around. Plus, they have effects for when, let's say like, we had one on Milliseek yesterday. I used Altergeist Manifestation to bring Milliseek back onto the field. It is now special summoned from the graveyard. I was facing an Exosister deck. And when that Exosister is on the field, it cannot be destroyed by a battle or by card effect with a card from the graveyard. Well, I had Protocol set. And I attacked 500 directly, and I was going to take 1 card and send it to the graveyard. But we was running into problems because what effect activated and which one actually resolved. That's where we were stuck. Was like, does his summon resolve, or does my card send it to the graveyard first? Because we're in the damage step. Then we went to reading the ruling, and one can come out during the damage step, which would have been the protection, and Altergeist Protocol would have negated it anyway, because it would not have gotten the protection because of how Protocol hit. So, in that case, you know, Milliseek goes through, plays out like normal. You know, where I get a little finicky is, it was Gizmek. Gizmek was summoned, so he banished his 8 cards. And that threw down Artifact of Lancia to stop my opponent from banishing. Well, since Gizmek activated first, he's Chain Link 1, so he sends material. Regardless, that is a summoning requirement. If you get rid of 8 cards from your deck, he is summoned. So effect 1 resolves, Lancia goes, no other cards can be banished. So what I started doing is, as soon as we get to turn, banish Lancia, stop the banishing. Because just cut it. It's the best way to fight banishing decks. Face one like Eldritch, Invoked, Manju, whatever it may be. As soon as you send that artifact to Lancia, you're going to stop it, I promise you. I went 2-1 yesterday at our locals. The only deck that got me was a banishing deck. That runs Sword Soul, Synchros, Starving Venom. Starving Venom actually bit him yesterday because of the lovely effect while Protocol was on. And I had Memory Gain up to 7,100. And I was getting ready to swing for about 10,000. So, yeah. Yeah, trust me. I know how to run Altergeist. I know how to run it well. I know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. If I can keep negating your effects, it doesn't bother me a bit. Because I have to pay a cost in order to do that. And with Altergeist is one of the best builds I actually have. Because of the overwhelming power, the overwhelming speed, and the overwhelming negating. The negating is ridiculous. I went 2-1 first game because I broke the first turn. I had nothing but hand traps, artifact Lancias, Kaiju, and a demeaner. The next two games, it was over in turn 3. Because with Altergeist, your turn 1's your setup. Your next two are the ones you attack on. And I had, by the second turn, I had Memory Gain up to 7,100, ready to go. So, yeah, pretty bad. So then, game 3 was really quick. It was like 2 turns. Because I didn't really waste time. I just started negating, activated Crackdown, stole one. And as soon as he went to play another one, I activated Witch's Strike and completely annihilated everything he had. And I was just like, I'm going to go to my turn, drew straight into the multi-faker, and I activated Protocol and Manifestation at the same time, and was able to special summon and be able to have that Protocol just in case. You got the multi-factor special summon, melee seek, do my whole combo. Yeah, it's pretty insane. So, with that being said, don't underestimate Altergeist. Altergeist are very dangerous. I do love that deck. I swear, man. When I found out like how good they actually run, I was like, "Oh my god!" I see where the power is. Because if someone bounces Protocol, dude, on your opponent's turn, you freaking set Silquettos instead of like melee seek. Now, if Silquettos is not available or it's just not the right time to make that play, don't. That's where I'm at with it. One of my biggest things is with Silquettos is, this is my favorite effect because it doesn't resolve, is his quick effect. As soon as an effect is activated, I can send one Altergeist to hand, which normally multi-faker, and then I can send one card you control back to your hand. That effect will not resolve, which is ridiculous. Even if it's a trigger effect, the quick effect still beats it. Now, unless if it's got a quick effect to negate, or a quick effect to keep it from being targeted by card effects, whatever it might be, then it will stay. But with Altergeist Silquettos, I love it so much because it does that shit. Like, it literally sends multi-faker back, waiting for my next trap, and literally multi-faker comes out again and can keep coming out. I can normal summon a card, send one back, and then link off 2, get into Hextia, go from Hextia, pull Pokeri, use it for Prime Banshee, jump straight into Mimmergant. I'm telling you, this deck is something of its own. It is ridiculous. The reason I keep the Pukris 2 is because if you run it at 3, you keep running into it. I know I have. Excuse me. I didn't get that much sleep last night. But yeah, it's all just ridiculous. Like what you can do with the power of Blue Eyes and Altergeist now. Drytron, I put that deck on the back burner, dude. It's good, but man, it gets hit with negates every time. I'm just like, man, I don't feel like dealing with this crap. I'm telling you. And one of my favorite cards in the Altergeist deck while I'm on it is Altergeist Marionetter, because she cannot be Ash. As soon as she is summoned, she pulls a Altergeist trap from deck, places it on the field, which is great because I'm not adding to hand. She's setting from deck. I'm not special summoning from deck. I'm setting from deck. And I'm not sending to grave. So Ash has no priority. Effect Veiler can hit it. And permanents will always hit it. Even if I have protocol on. The only thing is if you activate impermanence while my effect is going off, it'll light the whole column if it's not from hand, and make my spells and traps in that zone, whichever zone it's in, unplayable. And then that's it. Because with protocol set, you can't negate the activations or the activated effects. Where if you hit it with impermanence, you are. But if you hit the same column as protocol, you can negate protocol. Which is a smart idea. That is the way to get around Altergeist. Unless if they have another protocol on board. Then you run into a problem like, oh shit, he's got protocol. What do we do? You know. But that, you know, that's just the thing. Protocol is the main card in Altergeist. You get that out every turn 1, every single time. You cannot afford to not put it down, because you can bounce off. Every single play will go off. Every one of them. Like, everything you do will go off regardless. Because protocol is so powerful that you can't negate the Altergeist cards, and negating is what people do nowadays. And that's why I run protocol at 3, because I want to pull into protocol, I want to pull into manifestation, I want to pull into Altergeist, Meluseek, Multifaker, and I got another Marionetter on the way. Because you have to have 3 of all of those. I will have to cut a card, because Altergeist has to be run at 40 cards in the deck. But this is all the time I have to rant and rave today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, leave a like on the video if you're new. Make sure you do subscribe. Comment down below. I will read your comments and I will answer them. I'm Pierce Nation, and I will see you guys in the next video. Pierce Nation out.